There's so much I don't know. We don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't need to worry about every component today, right? What is the big items I need today to help me move forward?
This podcast is for educational purposes only. Nothing you hear on this show is legal or investment advice, nor is it an offer to buy or sell securities. Always consult your own legal and financial professionals before making decisions. Welcome to the Capital Flow Podcast, where our conversations help capital raisers and fund managers create flow in their capital, their business, and their life by learning from those who've built systems that attract resources instead of chasing them. If you've raised $5 million or more, this show is for you. Each week, we dive into the systems and stories of real capital raisers who attract investors through trust, systems, and relationships. And we actually have a unique opportunity here. I'm here with a good friend, Pedro. We're at the Residential Assisted Living Conference being hosted here in Glendale, Arizona. And we happened to link up. We got our podcast equipment here, so we decided to shoot an episode. So Pedro's a good friend. He's focused in the residential assisted living space. So if that's an area of real estate that you've been looking to get involved in or raise capital for, you're really going to enjoy listening to his story, how he got started. So without further ado, let's get into it. Pedro, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks. I'm excited.
So Pedro, for our listeners, tell them a little bit about who you are and how you got started.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Pedro Luna, and so I'm a structural design engineer. I aerospace industry for the past 20 years. And actually, 2019 is when I just started, had a goal to pay off my home in 5 years. We're 2.5 years in, and then it's like, hey, man, this is going to happen. And then when I looked at my 401k, and it's like, ooh, yeah. yeah. A lot of us have been there, right? So I looked at the 401k, and it's like, wait a minute, what is that paid off house going to do for me? And so that's when I started to look at alternative assets, right? Or some other type of investments. And so started as a single family rentals, but that was not really my passion. I realized, okay, that's just another investment. I needed to look for something that had more. So we're looking for, between my wife and I, my wife Araceli, we're looking for commercial, we're looking for business. More importantly is something that she was willing to jump in, but also they filled a need, not just another business. We don't need to just be generating more cash, right? More money.
Something that could make an impact. And
Definitely.
yeah.
Right? Because if not, then what's the purpose?
Right.
I had a good career and everything. I still work there, full-time job, but I went to do something better, bigger, contribute something that actually had an impact. And so, yeah, that's where we came across this asset class that we're looking at here at assisted living, and realized, wait a minute, this is both the real estate and in operations. So that's how we got started there.
Yeah. And that's, remind me again when this was?
When I started the training here was actually 2 years ago. So
2
August
years ago.
2023.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So just a couple of years and you've already got, we'll get into it here in a minute. You've already got a really exciting project that you guys are developing and building. So when you looked at you mentioned, let's talk about the 401k for a minute, right? So we're, for those that are watching this, the video, you can see we're part of the Main Street Media Network here. So the whole purpose behind this is to really bring attention and information to the masses from Main Street business owners. And you chose an asset class that's not only real estate, but operational through assisted living. So let's talk a little bit more about that piece to it. What was it that drew you into assisted living specifically?
Again, being able to see the opportunity there to make an impact. My mother's 71, mother-in-law is 70, father-in-law is 80. So here we're, like many Americans are, the baby boomer generation is going to need more better care that's out there. So going out there and starting to see and hearing stories and how these big boxes are not working, not for the baby boomer generation. It was okay for the silent generation, but not for the baby boomers. And that's when I started thinking, okay, what are we going to do when it's our time? And then what's going to happen when it's our time to actually be in these homes? If I'm able to make something or help change the culture a little, why not? So that was the original. As of course, as an investor, first you start as, hey, is this even an asset class I want to look into? So originally it was like, okay, do the numbers make sense? Is it something we want to get into? And of course, that checked the box. And then, like I mentioned, the other components to it. And so that's what really got us going at the beginning. But then as I started going, then that's when I felt the passion. So sometimes you find something and you realize, hey, maybe this is what I should have been doing, because now you feel this drive.
And it wasn't until you started taking that action and moving down that direction. So you mentioned big box a couple minutes ago, and for someone that's newer to this space or interested in assisted living in general, help them understand a little bit of the difference between what you refer to as big box and what you guys are working on.
Okay, so I guess you can say big box will be maybe different for different people, but for us here, the residential assisted living, we focus on 16 beds and smaller.
16 beds or smaller.
Because we want the residential feel a home. And so that's why we're doing this. We want it to be where our parents move from a home into a home, right? And in our case, we're specifically looking at end of life and memory care, to where this is the home they're going to move in and hopefully spend the last of their days and not be then having to move to another facility or somewhere else.
So big box is, in this case, you're saying is 16 beds or 17 or higher, more institutional, a little bit more commercialized.
Exactly.
And what drew you into the residential assisted living specifically was that it had more of a home feel.
Exactly. More personal care. Because at the end, I mean, that's what is like, hey, who is going to take care of my mother? Can I trust that that place or that person will do for my mother as I would want them to treat her, right?
Yeah.
And if that's not the type of culture that's in that place, then it's time for us to consider, hey, I'm sure we can do better.
So what's share with us a little bit of difference between the assisted living model versus, let's say, a nursing home?
Yes, that's a good question, because the assisted living is just assisted with daily living. So if you need cooking, cleaning, bathing, stuff like that, right? Things that you need for everyday help with. It's not any medical care. So it's not 24-hour care. So we are more coordinators. So in our homes, because we are going to have multiple residents, we're able to bring these outside services to our home. And so the nursing home is if someone needs the 24-hour medical care, then that's when they would then have to be in a nursing home. If not, a lot of our elderlies could actually age in place, and that would be their last home. Not have to move into a nursing home. Unless, again, they need 24-hour care. But a lot of these services do come into the homes.
So these homes are really for those people that might just need a little bit more assistance. They can't live completely independently. Maybe there's not a family member that's available full-time to assist them. So these homes are designed to provide a little bit of that additional help or assistance, right? Assisted living, but not quite at the level that somebody might require a nursing home or a skilled nursing facility, right?
Correct. This is actually between independent living and nursing home. But again, depending on the need, some residents may not need to move into a nursing home. They could age in place. Hospice comes there to the home. Everything happens at the home.
And what's really neat about these, my parents live here in Arizona as well, and a good friend of theirs actually went into an assisted living home in their neighborhood.
Yes.
And so just a few streets down, it's a normal home. Like you wouldn't know it's mixed into this community. And when you walk in, then they customized it and they gave the people living there their own room, but it's your standard living room, your kitchen. So it really does have that home feel. And it sounds like that's one of the things that really drew you into this.
Definitely. So yes, we do have one common area where caregivers take care of every need of our residents. Again, with the laundry and everything. And then everyone has their own independent room, independent restroom, full shower, rolling shower. But yeah, At the end, it's a home, right?
Awesome. I mean, you and your wife, you got into this, you want to make an impact, you get some business side of it, and then you also have the real estate side. Now, this project you're working on, tell us a little bit about that. That's exciting.
Oh yeah, definitely. So we are developing from the ground up 2 brand new 16-bed assisted living and memory care homes. This is in Oklahoma, Edmond, Oklahoma, actually north of Oklahoma City. So yeah, it's been a quite as I mentioned earlier, I started 2023 here through the academy, and so it's been a process. But again, the foundation takes a while, right? And
Sure.
so I know we are setting ourselves up to success in that area. So every state is different. I know that in other states you're able to have a 16-bed in a residential, where in our state we cannot have more than 5 unrelated adults. In that case, you have to go commercial.
Okay.
But commercial doesn't mean your home needs to look like an institution.
Right.
It's just a commercial piece of property, right? At that point, is like, okay, how do we make it work? So it's my mindset, of course, as an engineer, is okay, how do we make something work?
Problem solving.
Like, yeah, exactly. So when I saw, okay, we're not going to be able to do the 5 because the 5-bed is not profitable, because we want to maximize the returns, because we want to be able to provide better care. We want to provide better wages. We want to do better for everyone, right? And so the 5-bed will be more of a constraint. And so that's why, okay, if we're going to go big here, what's the sweet spot? And for us, it's 16. So that's why we're doing 2 16-bed instead of 132.
And these are side by side. They're on the same piece of land. And there's building codes you got to abide by. There's rules, regulations, and all that stuff. You and your wife have just learned and worked through over these last couple of years, correct?
Definitely, because looking at the international business code, looking at the international building codes, a 16-bed falls into a R4 condition 2, which means I'm still residential, like a multifamily. Where if I go 17 beds, now I'm more of an institutional.
Okay.
So that's the reason why for me 16 is the sweet spot, right?
Because then you don't have to go through rezoning. You can probably put these homes in residential areas, obviously.
So again, depending on the state, in our state, I did have to go rezone it.
Okay.
But there was no zoning that I could build these homes by right. Whichever zoning I was in, I would still have to go get a special permit. Again, every city, every state is different. And
so if somebody is interested in exploring this and wanting to follow a similar path, what direction would who's the first person you would recommend that they talk to?
As far as first understanding your area, is looking at your city ordinance or city, what is it? What zones can you build a home that you're looking for? So I know everybody has different levels of comfort of what they believe a home should look like. And so understanding what you're looking for, and then where can you build this home? But don't let it limit you either, right? Because again, in my case, if I would have just said, okay, I can't have any more than 5, then I would have capped at 5.
Right.
But thinking bigger here, okay, wait, how do we make this work? What is it that we need to do? And at that point, does that business structure make more sense?
Right.
So that's why I chose to go big. I actually set a pretty good high goal in my mind.
Yeah.
Like this, going 2 beds,
yeah, this is
2 homes.
This is your first crack at it too. But you got the right people, you got the right mentorship, you got the right team. You've been at this for 2 years. So this is something that's been in the making. And you guys you're getting ready to break ground, correct? Or have you already broken ground?
No, not yet.
Not
we
yet.
will. Correct. We'll go into the plan commissioning and city council here by December 8th. We should be going to city council. And then the plan is to hold the permits and break ground here at the beginning of the year.
And what's really cool about doing bigger projects and you thinking big too, it actually opens up opportunity for other people to come along on the ride with you.
Correct.
And the great thing is they don't have to do all the heavy lifting and the busy work that you're doing. That's what you're there for. But people have an opportunity to invest and work with people like you that are doing similar things. So we don't need to get into any of the returns or anything on this. If people are interested, then they can absolutely look you up, and we'll share your contact info. But share with us a little bit about why you decided to raise money for a deal like this, and why somebody would should and would want to work with in a deal like this.
Yeah, definitely. Because in reality, one bet is because in reality, we only need to do one, right? As far as what our mission of a place for our parents where we can do this, I have a business that makes sense. One is sufficient. But then again, as a big dream, a big goal is like, well, I couldn't just find 1 acre to build one. It was made more sense to buy a little bit bigger lot. So about a 3 acre. At this point is like, well, why don't we just do 2, right? Setting a big goal. And then, oh man, I lost my train of thought again.
And that by going bigger again, that allows you to invite other people along to invest alongside you passively, right? They don't have to do any of the busy work.
Correct. So if I do one home, then great. Then you have that one home, you open it up, done with construction, start to fill it, and then you go do the second one.
Hey, Dallon here. We'll get right back to the show in less than 60 seconds, but I wanted to take a moment to share something that could be costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost capital: your email deliverability. If your open rates aren't at least between 40 and 60%, I'm going to guess you don't have a content problem. You most likely have a deliverability problem. That means your emails are landing in spam, meaning potential investors are not being nurtured effectively, or even worse, never even having a chance to see your investment offering. But it's okay. We're going to help you fix that. My team put together a free guide with 10 best practices to ensure you're avoiding spam and actually hitting your leads' inbox. Your email reputation is like a credit score. It can take years to build and moments to ruin it. So don't make the same mistakes we did. The resource is short, tactical, and will get your emails back where they belong, the inbox. So go ahead, click on the link in the description or show notes below to access the checklist so you can avoid capital slipping through your fingers because of a simple fix. Click the link below, and now let's get back to the show.
Right. By the time you start the construction, you start the operation, the time that was lost in having the first home to the opening, the second one, that's when I said, okay, I could do that. But if I can have that big goal of doing both and bring others in and take part of this opportunity, share this opportunity with them, wouldn't that be something that would be a win-win situation for everyone?
Because now it's not just an investment, right? Yes, they're investing into real estate, but they're making an impact. These are homes where people that aren't able to any longer live independently can go and get more personalized care in still a home setting. So it's not just an investment; it's an investment with impact.
Definitely. And honestly, I'm glad you brought that up because that is the bottom line, right? This is not just an investment. We're doing this for a reason. So a lot of times when I do have a partnership, that is one thing I look for. I mean, I've actually spoken to banks, and as I'm speaking to other people and I see we're not connecting, I literally say, I'm sorry, this is not going to work, because we first have to align in the vision, right? Yeah, again, we can always be doing business, making more money and all that. But at the end, for what? It's like, if we're not aligned, no matter the type of partnership, right? Even if, the bank's going to help me out, but if we're not aligned, it's not the right
I'm glad you brought that up, because on this podcast, we talk to people investing in different asset classes. They raise capital, they work with private investors. That alignment is the very first thing that we assess with anyone we partner with when we're looking into getting into deals. And I think one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people make is when they meet somebody new, especially if they're raising for a deal, they meet somebody new and then they say, hey, look at these returns, look at this pitch deck, right? And you don't even know if the alignment is there. Those numbers shouldn't even matter until that, that alignment's there. So we like to have the very first conversation with people is just get a better understanding of where they're at and what they're looking for. So in your experience raising for this deal, and this is going to be the first of many, like you and your wife are action takers. It's been really cool just to see the growth. And shameless plug here, Pedro is one of our users at Capitalist Pro. I think I mentioned that. But while we were here at this conference, we were able to give you some special treatment and help you dial in some things in your CRM and your flows. But you shared something really cool with us that happened yesterday. Go ahead and share with us.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we literally are actually working through setting all the automation and all that for the CRM. And being here at the event is like, wait a minute, somebody already went through my landing page. They answered a form or questionnaire. They looked at my pitch deck and have scheduled an appointment with me on Monday.
And you go ahead.
And I don't even know who this person is yet.
You don't know who they are.
Yeah, and they're excited to meet me, according to the comments, and so am I. Of course, it's like, imagine how many back and forths or either emails, texts, or trying to coordinate, and it's like, oh, this happened without me even noticing that this was happening.
That's the power of a CRM and a system that we try to just drill into people's minds, because you and I are here. We're here. We're present. We're learning more about assisted living. We're networking. The CRM's doing all this heavy lifting for you. You're just sitting there. You get a notification on your phone. Oh, so-and-so scheduled a call.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of having a good system.
Definitely.
So it's been great having you as a user. And by the way, I mean, Pedro's only been with us 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yeah, short time.
Short time, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm still getting started. We're like, Pedro, like you're doing more than what some people are doing that have been with us for a few months. So it's been really cool just to support you and be a small part of this journey for you. So as we start wrapping things up here, for somebody that's looking to maybe they're newer to raising capital, or they're wanting to get to that next level, based on your experience, what advice could you share with them?
Yeah, definitely. Of course, you have to have the right systems and the right partnerships, right? Again, I should mention, I guess, when we first got started, we thought we wanted 110 bed. That's what we're looking for. But again, like I mentioned, because of our state, we had to go a little bigger. Something made more sense. At that point is like, okay, I need to go develop, because these homes don't exist. So I need to go develop. So I knew I was going to be a developer on that side. And then it's like, okay, we knew we wanted the operations. So I saw myself with 2 companies here, not thinking that, wait, I am eventually going to have to go and be a third capital raiser, which is a totally different company, right?
Yeah.
And so, again, I was focused more on the first 2 at first. And it's like, wait a minute, I need to start looking for the right partnerships, the right systems. How am I going to get going here to do that third company? That was an afterthought to me. It wasn't like, hey, I want to be a capital raiser. I want to start a fund. It wasn't my intent. So I'm accidentally becoming a capital raiser. But if you're aligned with the right system that's helping with the automation and all this, I mean, it's just making it fun, right?
It makes it fun. And Pedro, one thing I've always appreciated about you, because you and we actually met at this conference last year.
Yeah.
I ran a breakout session and we were talking about raising capital. And so we were in each other's networks for over the past year. We reconnected at a live event here in Arizona couple months ago.
Yep.
And then a few weeks later, we went to another conference in Dallas, and walking down the hall, and it's like, there's Pedro again, right? So a couple of things there. One, you show up. That's one thing that I've always respected about you. You show up, right? You're there. You're in the room. You're not somebody that just sits there and is like, oh, like it'd be cool to get into real estate investing, right? You take action. And I would argue calculated action, and that's probably natural because of your engineering mind. And so when you looked at this opportunity in front of you, you could see the potential, and you didn't have all the answers. You just said like you accidentally got into capital raising because you realized, oh yeah, I guess if I want to do this, I got to raise capital. But you never let that deter you, right? And I'm sure we could spend a whole nother episode just talking about all the things you wish you did differently. But you never stopped taking action. And when it came to raising capital, again, another thing, by the time we reconnected, you had already talked to a securities attorney. You already had the right structure set up. So you're doing things the right way. And that's one thing that I always appreciate, not even just with people that are using our platform, but just people in general that are honest, hard workers, and people that are going about it the right way. So with you accidentally realizing or getting involved with capital raising, what would you say has been one of the biggest challenges so far?
So I guess I would say originally when I started the capital raising, it was with friends and family.
Okay.
Because I thought, hey, I'm giving this great opportunity to my friends and family that typically would not have this opportunity.
Yeah.
Because this type of deals are normally a bigger type of investment, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to know what developer, a big developer. You need to have that high net income or assets, right? And so that's where I thought, as I was sharing my vision at the beginning, I would hear a lot of people that were excited and they're like, "Oh yeah, we should talk more once you get going." And so I really believed that I was going to be able to help them see the opportunity. And so that was the biggest challenge for me. That is like, okay, I understand we're not all at the same level at the same time.
Yeah.
We're not all at the same place at the same time, right? So it's like, okay, fine. Then how do we make this work? And of course, my mindset's always is not like, oh, I don't get overwhelmed of so much. There's so much I don't know. We don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't need to worry about every component today, right? What is the big items I need today to help me move forward?
When you shared with Paul and I yesterday, it's like, hey, somebody just scheduled a call. And we're like, yes, see, like that's what a good system is all about. So, and one thing you mentioned earlier, just a minute ago, was talking about sharing your vision with people. So what we have found is one of the, I would say, Achilles heel for people getting started in the space is they're not letting enough people know what they're doing. And I think a lot of people fall into this trap of, oh, if I gotta pitch the deal, I gotta show them all the returns. That's not the way to raise capital. You raise capital by building trust, and that starts by sharing your vision consistently. So what have you done, or what changes have you made over the last couple months to ensure that people in your network and new people are aware of what it is that you're doing with your vision?
Correct. So actually, is something was very uncomfortable is going back onto Facebook, because I have not been active on Facebook for a while. And then I started thinking, hey, we need to start sharing this vision and what we're doing with others around us so they can understand. And if I can make an impact and get somebody else to see the vision and they're in the same position to do what we're doing, why not? That's the intent, right? We see this need coming. And so if I can spark somebody else to start, that's what I want to do. Trigger those conversations. So I just been on multiple Facebook groups and just posting out there, hey, if you have any questions or if you want to know more, to connect with me. Because if I can share this, I know, again, like I said, not the right time for everyone, but eventually maybe that sparks someone that it could cause a ripple effect, and they can then get into the space. Or you never know, maybe just want to understand this asset class a little better to where they do invest in somebody else that's actively working.
Yeah. And it takes time, to your point. I mean, just our relationship, we met a year ago. We just started working together, a month ago or so.
Probably, yeah.
So, but we were aware of each other for a year. It's no different for raising capital. So as you're consistently sharing what is that you're doing, you're not pitching anything. Correct. You're educating people. You're providing value. You're inviting people to learn more. And the people that are attracted to what it is that you're doing, you're going to bring them in, right? And that's, when we talk about attracting capital versus raising capital, that's what we mean. Yeah. We mean like creating that environment and that consistency where you naturally draw people in. And since you've been doing that, and then you started sharing with people on these groups, somehow they got a hold of you, they got a hold of your link, they got into your funnel, and then they scheduled a call, and you have an investor call. Like that's what it's all about. And so having that right system is a key component to that. But if you're not letting people know what you're doing, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So,
and I do really appreciate this opportunity to speak about this, because I understand that this is a different asset class that a lot of people will not even entertain, because it's something that you're not familiar with. Mm-hmm. But I really encourage a lot of people to look into it. As you know, demographic is very demographic driven.
Yeah,
a need is coming, right? So the opportunity is
the
there.
Silver tsunami, right?
Exactly. So it doesn't mean everybody has to jump in, but if you see the opportunity, if somebody is working a deal that back to the returns, besides the relationship, right, the connection, the trust, and helping the small business, the main street. Right, get going. And if you can have a part of that, why wouldn't you, right? If you're in that position to help and make an impact in that area, it's something to consider looking into this asset class.
Absolutely. Well, Pedro, this has been awesome. It's been great chatting more with you, catching up, meeting again in person, and it's such a short period, multiple times. And for our listener, really appreciate you tuning in. If you're interested in getting involved with assisted living or just learning more or connecting more with Pedro, what would be the best way for them to connect with you?
I'm both on LinkedIn and Facebook.
Okay.
And so, yeah, you can find me there, Pedro Luna. And so, yeah, I've made both of my profiles public. So anybody that wants to follow me or friend me, yeah.
Cool. And if you're not ready to invest right now, just follow him. See what he's doing with this development. A lot of cool things. You're posting a lot of updates on it. So appreciate you guys tuning in to the Capital Flow podcast. We'll catch you on the next episode.